Howdy, everyone. I'm Kamiko Williams, and this is my presentation of an innovative professional tool project for my LTDE 5330 Professional Development for Technology Integration. I am very excited about this project because of the site that I found to highlight. First off, let me say that this site will complement my efforts in violence prevention very well. This site is called Learning for Justice. Upon reading the title, I was very intrigued, and I'm sure you are too, considering the vast resources available on this site. There is a way for you to become a member on the site, and I've made several attempts to join the site, but I continue to get a error message. Even still, I was able to access and have access to all of the resources. A lot of the resources will go hand in hand with the violence prevention curriculum, and it will provide in depth understanding to many concepts. I immediately checked out the publications tab, which I was very intrigued and happy with what I found. So they had a lot of things on here about just tolerance and understanding. They had resources about mass incarceration and social determinants, basically how it can lead to violence. So this was a lot of things that, will provide a lot of in-depth understanding. I was very happy with that. Just a host of resources, even how to deal with bullying. This was great. They have a newsletter. It's called The Moment. And I'm sure I'll be able to get a host of topics that can be discussed or create pieces of learning from. So I just kind of loved that. Also, just information about different things as far as roles and responsibilities of the president. These things can make a difference. I was already impressed with the site, but then I went to the educator resources and I was very happy with that. So it had just things that different students had written or things that students can write upon, prompts. And then I like the student tasks. So it provided tasks that could be done to give understanding or in-depth understanding for some of the topics. So, for example, community bulletin boards. Students will showcase artwork and nonfiction writing that address issues they found in the text. The result is visual, blah, blah, blah. Community spotlight cards, where they create trading cards, spotlight diverse community members who work towards social justice goals and connect to themes from central text. Film festival, they review films related to a theme in central text, then plan, prepare for host a community film festival. That's pretty cool. Identify self-portraits, where the students can create visual self-portraits that contain symbols representing their identity, beliefs, values, or areas of interest. So these are just really good topics that could go along, or tasks that could go along with violence prevention. I can think of a million ways to do that. It also had different lessons regarding different topics. So, while educating my staff on that violence and how it is, social determinants related to violence, it would be essential to have some different type of topics that relate to, where we are in the community and how we interact with the community. So I think that's pretty good. And this site has a lot of things like that, a lot of those resources. I also thought that these one world posters were interesting. So basically, it'll give a certain person in history with a quote, a certain art related to it. So this one is by Toni Morrison, and it says, "If you are free, you need to free somebody else." Directly relates to violence prevention. If you If you know Whence You Came, there is really no limit to where you can go by James Baldwin. Like inspirational, and it will help set the tone for your place, your classroom, your space. I also was able to find um, just different podcasts that were available that I was interested in regarding a lot of things. So it depends on how far back I want to go to talk about, the community violence and, give context to it. There are things about history comes with the text of the podcast and things like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. And different magazines. Yeah, I just can't say enough about the site. I actually look forward to having the opportunity to get a little bit more in depth and read more things on here because it's a lot of interesting resources, a lot of things that I um I really found very interesting, things that I want to share with my colleagues. So, for example, introduction to action planning. So this is something that can always be helpful. Um, just a lot of things like this reflection by Eddie Lou Hammer. Nobody's free until everybody's free. These are things that I really like and I would love to incorporate in my lessons. So with that being said, I do really, really, really appreciate you listening and learning more about this wonderful site. And I do encourage you to look it over. It could be helpful for a host of reasons, even if you have a Black History lesson that you want to provide in your class. This is a wonderful resource. It has lesson plans, teaching strategies, a lot of things that could make the experience of learning about, such a heavy topic easier. I hope you are as fired up as I am. I thank you so much for taking time to check out my review of Learning for Justice. Thank you, and you have a wonderful day.